Well, tonight we are told the White House is investigating itself after the damaging and dangerous leak of information, identity, I should say, about a high-level CIA bureau chief. Brit Hume is next on why he thinks this blunder is so bad. Developing tonight, the Obama administration is now investigating itself after a high-level undercover CIA operative was identified in a White House press release. The huge mistake coming after the president's surprise visit to Afghanistan Sunday with U.S. troops ahead of Memorial Day. The top-secret name was among a list of 14 who met with the commander-in-chief for a military briefing at Bagram Air Force Base. Now that man's life and his family could be in danger of being targeted by our enemies. Brit Hume is Fox News' senior political analyst. Brit, how bad is this?
Well, it's serious because, unlike, say, the Valerie Plame case, in which we were talking about somebody who was doing a classified job, but she was sitting at a desk in Virginia. This man is in Afghanistan. I presume it's a man who's in Afghanistan on the front lines of a shooting war. So the danger is obvious. The mistake was, pretty flagrant. I'm glad to hear you note that it was a press release, because this was not a leak. This was kind of a routine release by the White House press office. The military furnished a list of people who were meeting with the president, and they simply turned around and released it to the White House pool, which is a subset of the White House press corps, which represents, on things like trips, all of the press corps, and that went then out through email to about 6,000 journalists. And so this thing happened, and obviously it was an oversight, it was a mistake. But one wonders what kind of an operation you have where such a grievous mistake could be made. And, I think it feeds into this ongoing sort of running story that has led to suggestions that this is an administration that has trouble running things.
Does someone need to get fired?
Well, I would think so, but if you make a mistake like this, there need to be consequences. I mean, you simply can't say, well, poor old so-and-so was a member of the junior varsity here and didn't really know what he or she was doing, and it was an honest mistake, and they didn't really mean to do it, and be all forgiving about it. I mean, people need to be, I think, disciplined for actions like this so that they'll be alert to them, and, others will be alert to them in the future.
What is speaking of junior varsity, President Obama's been in office for a while now. This isn't his first year. Shouldn't they know better by this point, the press office?
Well, this is an issue that has been raised about this administration. The federal government is a leviathan institution, and no presidency gets by without some mistakes beginning and blunders and troubles emerging in one or the other executive departments. It just is the way things are. It's just too big to have perfect supervision. But you're beginning to see here in this president's second term a kind of a pattern. You had the fiasco rollout of the health care program with the bad website and a total shambles, which suggested a level of supervision from the top of the administration that was all but non-existent. Then, of course, you have this mess at the VA, which is something that the president had promised over and over again that he was, on to, and he was seized with, and he was going to fix it. And, of course, you have this mess scandal. And now, of course, you have, this is of a different order, but now you have this blunder, which leads to, an important classified individual being outed, and, inadvertent or not, it's serious, and it's the kind of thing that you'd think that an administration would learn by now. But in second terms, you tend to get the second string. I mean, this is not the first administration which has had trouble in a second term managing things.
But they're wrapping me, Brits, but I want to get this question in before we go. So far, they've had no press briefings at the White House since this happened. Our submitted questions have gone unanswered. And the question is whether, the White House is basically just going underground on this because
I think this is, look, this White House stonewalls. This administration stonewalls. They stonewall congressional requests for information. They stonewall subpoenas. They decline to show up at hearings. There is a level of, I think, a combination of fear and contempt toward the institutions in Congress and in the media, which would investigate them and perhaps embarrass them. So their response is, it's not very skillful and it's pretty crude and pretty obvious, but they stonewall. I can't tell you what the deal was with the scheduling of a briefing on any particular day, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if this was just another case of stonewalling.
And now they're having the White House counsel look into how the administration can improve processes.
This is the standard pattern. A scandal erupts, the president says nothing. The White House says nearly nothing. And then it's announced that somebody in the administration is looking into it. And the next thing you're going to hear is, well, this is being looked into. It would be inappropriate to comment. And,
and then it'll be, oh, that's old news. Brit, I got to go.
Yeah, got you, Megan.
All right, see you.